And I know that at the moment we're UK based, and but we're looking to expand into other countries. And what's pushed you guys to expand into other areas, such as other regions, such as the UAE?
I think from a UAE perspective, right, having had the experience of actually going and seeking therapy here, so we did marriage counseling. It's incredibly expensive, right? Incredibly expensive. Just the cost of it, I'd imagine, would make it inaccessible to so many people. And especially with the onslaught of COVID here has been significant to job losses, right? There are so many people that have lost their jobs, so many people that are in a bad way mentally because of that. You know, they've spent years and years here building a life, and suddenly they're out of work, out of pocket, can't really access the support that they need because of that. You know, with SupportRoom, we're hoping to bridge that gap, make it more accessible, make it affordable as well. And that's why I think there's genuinely somewhere for SupportRoom in a place like the UAE.
Thank you so much, both of you, for your honesty and your openness, because I think that's absolutely key to SupportRoom, because we want to be open and transparent and share our experiences, because it's about raising that awareness as well, isn't it? And that's something that we all feel really passionate about. So where do you guys see SupportRoom then in a year's time? We're right at the beginning of our journey. Where do you see SupportRoom in about a year?
I don't feel like it's a race. We really want to achieve what we wanted to do before we even started creating the platform is, number one, to support patients and really starting supporting employees, but enabling organizations to make change. That's the number one goal for now. In terms of kind of moving the company forward, we're going to move the company forward organically. We want to learn. We want to make sure that our platform is providing better clinical therapy, on a day-to-day basis. How do we do that? We listen to our therapists, we listen to patients, we listen to organizations and employees. Based on that, we'll continue to grow our service, our technology, and that will kind of evolve, over time. This year, we will move into the UAE, for example, and other markets by the end of this year. And that's where we will see some growth. We could do loads of things with our technology. That we've got this roadmap, which is scary because there's so much we can do in terms of where we would love to take this. But I think it's better to, let's not run before we can't walk, if that makes sense. We've got these goals and we really want to achieve them. As I've said from day one, if we as a company, SupportRoom, can achieve and support 1% of the UK population that's suffering from mental health over the next year, I think that's a bigger achievement than growing the company into a multi-million-dollar business. The money side of things is obviously important because we need to pay salaries, development costs, etc. But that is more important to us.
And just before we end, is there anything or any messages that you'd like to give to anyone who is struggling with their mental health at the moment?
Yeah, what we would like to say as SupportRoom is we're always here to support you. Even if I get messages, we're at that point where your messages are not just going to, if you message us on Facebook, I'm reading them, and I'm not a mental health expert, but I'm replying and I'm trying to support you as much as I can. And that's the complete team. We're here to support. We've helped patients very recently where they're completely breaking down at like 8 or 9 in the evening. We've actually reached out, we've held their hand through the process. We've connected them with a therapist. And a few weeks later, we've spoken to those same patients and they've just said the feedback's been great. We love what SupportRoom is doing. You've really helped me over the last few weeks to kind of move through, improve how I feel, and my well-being starting to improve. And I think for us, that's a huge achievement straight away. But we're here to support you. Don't suffer in silence. And, my cousin did that, and I don't want anybody else to do that. Even if it's reaching out to a friend, a family member, or SupportRoom, There's always somebody to reach out to. And if you don't have anyone to reach out to us.
Yeah, I would second that. I think reaching out and discussing your issues is the most important thing, and that's the only remedy. Otherwise, if you suffer in silence, who's going to know? And just reach out, whether it's to us, whether it's to a friend, whether it's to community peers. There are so many online platforms today that can help support you through a difficult time.
Another thing is, people will talk about competition and they say, well, there's this company in the market, there's that. We don't care at SupportRoom. We look at everybody the same way. We're all trying to drive the same initiative: awareness and support. The more companies that do it, the greater and more support we can provide. Provide people with mental health issues or symptoms, but also outside of the UK. This is not just a UK problem. It's a global, and I call it a pandemic. COVID's a pandemic, but mental health in itself is a pandemic. The numbers are not decreasing. So we all need to provide support, and also just to be more open as well to those suffering from mental health issues. Don't just push somebody aside because they're different, or you don't align with how they're feeling. Speak to them. Take time to make them feel comfortable.
And just to add that we all have mental health. We all have days where we're not feeling too good. And to use a platform like this, you don't need to feel anxious all the time. You might just have a day where you just need to speak to somebody. And I think that's, an amazing thing. If you can't reach out to friends, or like you both shared your experience, if you don't have anyone that you feel that will understand you, SupportRoom is here to help. I'd like to thank you both for being so honest and open, and hopefully it's given the viewers a better understanding of how you started the company and your values and your kind of passions behind it. I think it's really important, and the value that SupportRoom will bring not only to patients but to therapists as well as organisations in UK and beyond. Hopefully, like you said, Ash, it's a pandemic. Mental health is something that us mental health practitioners have been talking about for years, and the more people that do talk about it and reach out and start talking about taboos and how they're actually feeling, the better it is. So thank you both really much.
Thank you very much for having us.
Thank you. That's fun.
Appreciate it.